Yesterday, I was within the first few thousand to actually join X payments. And this is pretty much going to be a remarkable. First of all, thank you guys for almost 50,000 views on the original post. I was actually one of the first to post it, and this is just remarkable for what this means for crypto and for Doge in particular on X. And we know in the past that Elon has said that he's going to pretty much integrate Doge somehow into the payment system on X, then Twitter, but now X. And this is why you're seeing the price action spike overall in crypto, and, well, in Doge specifically. And this is what we're talking about Doge specific catalyst compared to Bitcoin specific catalyst. And this is a Doge specific catalyst. So this is why you're seeing this really huge uptick in Dogecoin. I'm not saying that he's not going to accept other crypto. I think he'll do possibly something with BTC. But when it comes down to transaction fees and whether or not which coin more people are willing to actually use as a currency, it just makes more sense with Doge. And I think this is one of the leading catalysts as far as for why this coin is going to be appreciate in this way and be really just that coin of choice. And I hope ultimately that he'll do something where we kind of see which coin is being used the most. And I think that this is going to really just pay off for the people that were invested early in the coin. So with this being said, before we take a look at charts, I want to point out a couple of things. The first thing is that, yes, this is going to be a big and a very wide use case for Doge. This is kind of going to be like the test of all tests before it goes completely mainstream and you start seeing like a lot of businesses jump on. This is going to be a very big deal to see what type of support the coin is going to have, how many people are actually going to use it, and how can this actually function as a currency on a large basis. So this is not going to be like a mom and pop shop using it. This is going to be the potential for millions and millions of people to actually start using this overnight. So this is going to be a very big deal. The second thing is, we, especially on this channel, we talk about self-custody, protecting your passwords, all that kind of stuff, making sure that your coins are not available for, a shorting or in case these brokerages go bankrupt, things that we've experienced over the last couple of years. So the biggest thing is there going to be an X wallet? And this will be really just the cherry and like the cream on top here as far as to what that means for price action. Is there going to be are we going to have a self-custody available on X? So like if we're saying we're going to pay our ad revenue or our premium versions of X, whatever we're doing, is there going to be like an exchange system where you can say this is going to cost, I don't know, X amount of Doge per month, and then that kind of just sits into your wallet. It gets auto deducted from your crypto wallet, so that once you have your account sitting there, you never have to necessarily use your credit card again. Like it's all just in crypto. It's just exchanging back and forth between the exchange. That's going to remove a lot of those coins off of the market. And then with supply and demand, that is going to be huge, because basically what that means is if there's a big liquidity pool from these exchanges to X and a particular crypto, that means that these exchanges are going to have a large volume of crypto that's leaving and that's not going to come back, right? So now they're only relying on the new coins that's being minted to kind of replenish those coffers that they have, which means that there's less coins available for them to short, and all of this puts a strain on the actual float. Thus, that appreciates the asset. So that is something I'm looking for. I think that'll be a great catalyst going forward to kind of add on top of this. So let's take a look at the charts. So we're going to take a look here at the overall price action. So we have this big candle here, pretty much filling a gap that we've seen off of the sell-off from the 14-day when we did a retest. And now we're back in this primary zone here. And I know that people were panicking because we've seen some rejections down up here off of the zone before, but I do believe that this zone here, like the 817 to 950, I think this is shaping up to be the new 596 to 709, right? And this is kind of going to be like that ascended, like that higher high, like as you're moving through the cycle. I think this may actually shape up to be where Doge kind of hangs out at until your next catalyst, the next move in the market, the next push and liquidity coming into the market. I think this is kind of going to set up to be our new zone here. And it's very similar to, this is a wider zone as well. You have some ticks out of it. Same thing here. We had some overshooting here. Not the end of the world, but typically it hangs out here. And we're seeing some very similar action. It's a little early to call that, but just kind of putting that out there now. It's a little early, so we'll see. But ultimately, yeah, this is when we're testing. It's looking like we're going to need to get past like that 917 mark. Got a couple rejections here. This candle is still active, so don't let that red fool you just yet. This hasn't closed just yet. So right now, it looks like we're catching around the 72-day MA. So this is very great here. And another thing is, if we're able to consolidate at the top of this liquidity zone, then we'll have another cross at the 14 and 72. So back here in October, we're kind of able to ride that for quite a while. We had that ascension. So this is something to keep an eye on here over the next few days, because it's not that far below it, but it certainly is an indicator if we're able to kind of maintain this level here for over a week or so. And as the 72 kind of flattens, we'll see this ascension here in the 14-day, and that'll be certainly an indicator here of a next tick up, and probably send us somewhere on like the 9-10 range to kind of retest this. And this is just with the creation of the account. This is just the early adapters getting in, saying, okay, well, this sounds familiar. I want to make sure I'm getting into a position here. So this is just the early adapters here. So there's a few more things that's going to kind of push this, and that's going to be the official announcement of saying, okay, hey, we're now accepting, Doge, we're now accepting this coin, that coin, and that's going to be like the official announcement. And then there's going to be a boom off after that, and then you have what you would call something like a natural push up, which would be the supply and demand strain, if they're doing something like that, that X wallet, which I believe they will. I don't want to kind of just put like random things out there, but I think, in my opinion, that makes a lot of sense for them to do something like that. So I just kind of, and again, being a little premature there, but I do believe that we're going to see something like an X wallet, and then we'll have that supply and demand push as well. And, again, the people that were in early, especially these guys here, they'll be rewarded at those higher prices. So that's something we're going to keep a track of. Let's see if we have a bump up in shorts. More than likely, they should have covered. And yeah, so what we're seeing here is a swap. Shorts got out of there yesterday. This is what happens when there's a huge catalyst. They get scared and they start covering immediately, take profits, which is smart. If you're in a short position, you don't want to be stupid and go against momentum, because for all they know, Elon could have came out last night and said, yep, within 48 hours, it'll be live. And then we'd be probably at 15 cent now, or, 20 cent now. So that was smart for them to get out. So what they're doing now is they're gauging and saying, okay, well, maybe this is the end of the momentum here. Maybe he isn't going to say anything. So now they're kind of taking a position here. They're getting out of the old ones, trying to take profits if they could before it, and they're opening new positions. And so that's why you're seeing this spike here of 2,215.83% on the day increase. So this is, again, this is them trying to take new positions here, because I think the momentum's dying out. They're trying to trade with momentum, but making sure that they move out of the way of momentum. You don't want to try and stop a train, right? You want to catch the train when it's slowing down, and then you kind of jump in front of it and pretend to be Superman. But again, this is something you have to kind of watch for, because they're going to try and make sure that this is probably going to intensify, so they can go and try and make sure that this doesn't reach around that 10 cent mark. So that's typically where they kind of incite themselves anyway. So it's not abnormal for them to kind of move in this pattern here. So just kind of expect that. Let's see. I don't believe across the boards here that we just want to check BTC. Yeah. So yeah, just wanted to point out, to say this is Bitcoin here, where people were saying, oh, Bitcoin is rising, but Doge isn't with the Bitcoin ETF. This is what I meant by coin specific catalyst. You see Bitcoin here. It's not having those big upticks, very minimal price movement. Why? Because nobody is going to really use Bitcoin on X for payments. It's not a Bitcoin catalyst. So this is why, but you don't see the Bitcoin maxi saying, oh, Bitcoin's, dead or stuff like that, because there's a whole payment usage thing coming out on X. and it's not reacting to the price, because those are two different things. No one's going to use their Bitcoin. It's not designed in that way, so it's not moving, and as it shouldn't. It shouldn't be something that is. I believe it's not going to be something that's used. It's going to be something more so that's hoarded. So this is why we're not seeing that reaction here from Bitcoin and other coins, but you are seeing it from Doge, because this is going to be the people's currency, right? So with that being said, what to look out for is, as we come up to the cusp of this candle here, this gap down, we're looking at probably at 917 and 922. We'll see where this candle closes. I know we're having a bit of a push down now. A lot of those short orders are coming in, so just kind of keep an eye on that. But ultimately, what we're looking for as far as the next setup or the leg up is further information or a post on X, kind of giving like an update as far as how the payments are going, and keeping an eye on this 1472, because this is kind of going to give us an idea if we're going to consolidate right around this level and start trending sideways. And also, in third, we're going to take a look, keep an eye on the shorts here to kind of see, because I know they're going to do everything in their power, because they were getting excited to try and get it in this range here below around was this the 382? I don't want to open it up too far. Yeah, right below the 382 mark. They were trying to get it below that, and so that you can possibly retest the top of that liquidity zone. But this announcement is very timely, just when people thought that it wasn't going to happen. So with that being said, that is an update on the payment systems being launched by X. That's kind of what I think is going to happen going forward. Let me know your thoughts, whether or not you're excited as far as for this development, and whether or not, more importantly, whether or not you will actually use your coins on X for payments if you were to purchase something on X. I know not everybody does it, but if you were, would you consider using your Doge? So let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.